Hi, I'm John and welcome to the Jigsaw Puzzler. Today's puzzle, we're looking at this one. It's a Puzzle Master jigsaw puzzle. I'm not overly familiar with this particular brand of puzzle. It's produced by BMS Brands Puzzles and it's a 1,000 piece image of a Monet painting. The painting itself is called the Garden of Sainte-Adresse. And it's one of 4 in a series. There's a Van Gogh, a Renoir, a Klimt, and this Monet painting. It's in their Old Masters series. They are the 4 paintings in the series. Ironically, none of the 4 are actually Old Master paintings. However, we've got the Monet painting here, the Garden of Sainte-Adresse. It depicts a scene, a garden scene, with some chairs and a couple of people sitting in chairs. There is a couple here by the sea wall. Looking out over the sea, there's a boat up close. There are a lot of ships and boats further out along the horizon. And there are 2 large flag poles here, one with the French flag on it and one with another flag that I don't recognize on it. And of course this expanse of sky at the top. The box, when you open it, came with a poster, a small, so less than A4 size poster, which shows the entire image. The image on the front of the box does not show all of the bottom of the image. Part of it is actually cut off across the bottom of the box. It does have the full width and height of the image, but not the bottom. So you do need the poster, otherwise there'd be a fair bit of guesswork in piecing that together. Probably not impossible, but still that would be a challenge without the poster. I bought this puzzle secondhand, so I was expecting that it might have missing pieces, but it does not. I would guess, now being unfamiliar with this brand, I would guess that this is at the affordable end of the puzzle spectrum when it was produced. Fairly readily available and cheaply produced. And so I was thinking that the quality might not be so good. So let's have a look at the quality of this one. The pieces are in a fairly standard thickness. They hold together quite nicely. I could pick up the whole puzzle and flop it down without any of it coming apart. And the pieces are a good fit. There are possible false fits here, but honestly they're more operator error on my part rather than a problem with the puzzle. There are some pieces which do fit in a space, but when you get the right one in, it fits perfectly and you can feel it. You can feel the difference in the piece. That mostly happened with the sky, understandably, because that's the largest expanse of colours which are very, very similar. So it's a good quality puzzle. It does have quite a shine to it. So the light coming from the room did make it a little bit challenging to see what was going on in the picture when I was doing it. But other than that, it's a pretty good quality puzzle. And nothing particularly disappointing about this one. Alright, so how did I do this puzzle? Well, I sorted into puzzle trays. You'll have seen this many times on my time lapses. Got my puzzle trays, put the pieces in, do a full flip and sort, or do a full flip and pull out all of the edge pieces, which I did do. I normally do the edge first, and I was going to with this one, to be perfectly honest, but it didn't end up that way. I was able to pull out a few other things as well, smaller parts of the puzzle, as I was pulling out the edges. So the 2 flags were really distinctive inside in the puzzle boxes. The 2 flag poles, very distinctive. And this umbrella here of the person sitting on the chair, that's also quite distinctive. So I was pulling the edge out, pulling those pieces out, and then started to piece the flags together and the flag poles, even before I had a go at the edge pieces. It did take a little bit to get the pieces in the right order on the flag poles. It wasn't too hard to determine which flagpole belonged to which flag, but in terms of getting all of the pieces in the right order. There were a few little tricky bits, but as I say, not too bad on the whole. So I actually did, in fact, start with that. I did put the umbrella together, and then I started to piece together other textures and colours on the main image. So, for example, the couple here, particularly the woman with her dress, that's quite distinctive colours and shades and patterns. This gentleman here sitting on the chair, and the 4 chairs. So if you pull out all the pieces for those, you can sort of sort those and put those together, which I was able to do. And then, strangely enough, the path here, I don't know if it's cement or stone or whatever it is that on the ground behind here, really easy to pull those pieces out. So I just pieced that together, and of course this became attached to part of the edge, and then I was able to piece together various parts of the edges and eventually put the edge together, and was able to put the flags in approximately the right position. Before I even had done the edge, I'd done little chunks of the puzzle, the middle of the puzzle. Totally unlike what I would normally do. I was able to pull out some of these flowers, the gladioli, I think they are, put those together, and then I looked and saw that there are a couple of lines that go across the puzzle. The first line is this one here, the top of the railing or the fence with some shrubbery in front of it, because there's a boundary there between the green of the shrubbery and the brown of the railing and the ocean, which is a distinctive bluey-green colours. There's also this latticed area here, which looks like a gate. I don't know if it leads out to a wharf or something like that, or if it's just a latticed section that something's going to grow on. And this quite brown brickwork here in front of this garden. So I was able to piece those together. And I was able to piece this section of the path together over here, which is quite purple, very purpley grey colour. Now the other line that's on here as well is this line, the horizon. The different, easy to pick out because the darker shade of the ocean, the very light shade of the sky, but also all of these ships and boats, which form an almost continuous line across the entire horizon. There's a small section in the middle that doesn't have anything, there's a bit at the end that doesn't have anything, and there's one tiny gap here, but apart from that, it's a series of ships of all sorts of shapes and sizes. Some large sailing ships, there's what looks like a steamship, perhaps even 2 steamships, some more sailing boat kind of things, like yacht style ships, a whole swag of them. So they were remarkably easy to find in the box. So I did pull those out and put that line together as well. The gardens came together quite easily. It didn't take long for me to notice that there are different kinds and sizes of flowers in each of the zones. This one here in the middle is exclusively red and white flowers, and they're quite large compared to some of the other areas. This area down the bottom here has got red and yellow with some other shades of purpley blue intermingled in it, and they are because they're in the foreground, they are the largest of all, so it wasn't hard to pick those out of the box. These ones over here are quite fine, a little bit blurred as they go into the middle ground. Here, different shapes, gladioli, smaller flowers, lots of different colours. There's yellow, orange, red, there's purple, and all the green in there from the leaves. And then this side over here is much darker. There's a patch of white, mostly yellowy greens, and these gladioli out the top here. So sorting which pieces go to which garden area was not too difficult. The fence, of course, you could follow the fence line, and there are fragments of the lattice work underneath in various spots. So finding those, and then it's just a matter of piecing the remaining green parts in between all of those areas. There's a distinct line here between the grass and the pavement with this flat grass area here. There's a small flat grass area here in front of the person sitting on the seats. So there's lots of textures, colour, patterns in this bottom section that make this actually quite easy to do, I think, because each section itself is not very big. So once I had most of that done, or all of that done, or just about all of it done, I did move on to the ocean part here. I had pulled out pieces for this sailing boat here in the middle and pieced some of that together. The umbrella that this woman's holding is quite near to it, so it connected on quite well. And then I'd had sections, particularly this one here, a little bit across here and a little bit at the end, of pure ocean. And of course the colours grade from light to dark across this way, and a tiny bit of shape sorting to get the rest of the sea together. And as a bank of colour, that really was not difficult at all. The challenge with the puzzle came with the sky. Now it is in two distinct sections. There's a lighter strip across the bottom here made up of clouds and smoke from some of the steamships, and then the darker stripe across the top. The lighter one was easier to do. There are some distinct edges between the dark sky and the light clouds, so I did start by piecing some of those together and putting some of these in place here, and then just working my way around, putting the smoke, the sort of grey or the grey-green of the smoke together, and then just filling in the gaps with the lighter colour pieces that remained, which left this dark section at the top. Now this was a little bit more trial and error, but I had a small section up here because this flagpole was in. I had the biggest bank in the middle here of about 3 rows, and then this small area over here. There are differences in colour between the 3 of them. It's lighter in the middle, darker towards the corners. One corner, this one, is more purple than this one. This is a much more grey blue, this is a more purple blue. So by sorting out some of the colours and sort of a bit of colour matching, that did eventually come together. That did take the longest part of the process. So if you watch the time lapse, there's a fair bit of shape sorting, a little bit of trial and error with some of those pieces, but on the whole, not too bad. I didn't time myself doing this, so I don't really know how long I took to do it, but I'd have to say I was quite satisfied that it didn't go on and on and on and get really tedious and boring, that this was actually quite a nice challenge puzzle to do. It wasn't too challenging, it wasn't one of those that kind of drive you crazy because it's so difficult and you think, I am never going to get this done. Not once did I think I was never going to get it done, but it had enough challenge for me to go, okay, these are the easy bits, this is a bit harder, and this is the hard bit, and we're just going to plug away because I've managed to get all of this done. Surely I can get 3 rows of blue in. And of course I did, and I'm very satisfied with the outcome. So if you're looking for an art puzzle that's a little bit challenging, then I would recommend, if you can get hold of this one, I'm very happy with it, and I think other people would be quite happy with it as well. So we're going to have a time lapse now. If you'd like to click like and subscribe, if you'd like to share your thoughts below about art puzzles, about this puzzle if you've done it before. I've got a couple of Monet puzzles in my own collection, so I'd love to know what you think about this puzzle and other puzzles as well. If you can leave your feedback below. Alright, so on with the time lapse, and thank you for watching.